What's the matter?
We're surrounded. I see 4 of them.
We've got company. It's the Ocelot unit. Let's get out of here. Hurry! Don't forget your gear. Here, give me a hand. We can use this to get to the basement. Damn it! Ocelot. I'll get past them on my bike. I'll call you later.
Okay, I'll keep them busy. Huh?
Don't go dying on me now.
It appears you've been completely surrounded.
Yeah, so I gathered.
If Eva is to escape from there,
Right. I'll have to take them all out.
Snake, you must defeat all the Ocelots. That's the only way to ensure Eva's safe escape, as well as your own. But you're up against a lot of them. Don't try to take them head on. Approach them without being seen and dispatch them one by one. And don't forget to use your camouflage. Snake, they're conducting a sweep of the inside of the factory. Sooner or later, they'll come to your room. If you're just standing there doing nothing, they'll find you and they will kill you. Get out of that room quickly. Use the trapdoor that Eva showed you. Snake, don't try to engage the Ocelots head-on. There are too many of them. If they surround you, you'll be finished. Use your camouflage to approach them without being seen, and take them out one by one. If you don't camouflage yourself properly, you run the risk of being spotted and attacked by snipers or other faraway enemies. Don't forget to use the camouflage screen in the survival viewer to disguise yourself. Always maintain a high camo index. Snake, enemy soldiers who move in file pose a serious threat. Try to take them out one at a time, starting with the one at the back. Snake, there were drums filled with fuel in the factory. If you shoot a bullet into one of those drums, the resulting explosion should send any nearby enemies flying. Use them to your advantage. Snake, there's no telling where the enemy might be hiding. Be sure to check the ceilings and the bushes. Don't let your guard down even for an instant. Eva needs you to distract the enemies until she can escape on her motorcycle. She's probably out there somewhere waiting for her chance. Don't worry about her. Focus on defeating the enemy. Understood? Snake, it appears they've got snipers in place. Snipers are excellent shots. If they hit you, you're likely to be wounded. Find the snipers and neutralize them before they can shoot you. If you do get shot at, take cover behind something. Understood? Snake, you must defeat all the Ocelots. That's the only way to ensure Eva's safe escape, as well as your own. But you're up against a lot of them. Don't try to take them head on. Approach them without being seen and dispatch them one by one. And don't forget to use your camouflage.
When you have a serious injury, like a gunshot wound or a burn, your maximum life will decrease. So if you're seriously hurt, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to treat it. Snake, you run a higher risk of getting seriously injured if you're hit by an attack at close range. If you're engaging in proximity combat, use caution. If you get seriously injured, go into the survival viewer and treat it right away. Snake, keep an eye on your stamina gauge. When you run low on stamina, you won't be able to fight at full strength. You'll recover less life and your aim won't be as steady. Don't let that happen to you. Use the food option in the survival viewer to eat some food and replenish your stamina. Snake, your life will naturally recover even if you're wounded. But how fast it recovers depends on how much stamina you have. If your stamina is low, your life will recover more slowly. If you want your wounds to heal, you should eat something first and replenish your stamina. You can make your life recover faster by staying in a crouching or lying position. If you get injured, find some place where you're safe from enemy attacks and let your life recover, okay?
Those rifles the Ocelots are using aren't AK-47s, are they?
No. They kind of look like AKMs, but they're different.
Different how?
They've got steel handguards and vertical type foregrips, and the muzzle suppressor is bigger.
A carbine version of the AKM, huh? Hungary has a unique modified version of the AKM called the AMD-63. I heard something before about them making a prototype carbine version of that. My guess is they probably imported some of those prototypes. If they're using a carbine version of the AMD-63 like I'm thinking, then they could be a serious threat. Those things handle better than the AK-47s, especially at close range. And don't forget, the Ocelots are elites. They're gonna be better shots than normal Spetsnaz, and you're that much more likely to get seriously hurt. Keep your eyes open. Heads up, Snake. Looks like some of those guys are equipped with M63s. The M63 is an American-made light machine gun. It's got more firepower than you might think. It can punch through a wall too, so watch out. You said some of them are using shotguns? Those shotguns are M37s. They're an American model designed for field combat. Not all that dangerous from a distance, but at close range, they'll tear you to shreds. Be careful. Looks like some of them are using Scorpions. The Scorpion is a Czechoslovakian submachine gun. They don't have the stopping power of a rifle, but they're easier to handle and lethal at a medium range. If you eat more than a couple of rounds, it's not gonna be pretty. Don't fool around. Snake, watch out for those grenades they're tossing. You'll be injured pretty bad if you get caught in the blast. You could get burned too. If somebody throws a grenade at you, get away from it and hit the deck. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached, the bang and the muzzle flash will give your position away to the enemy. Attach a suppressor and you won't have to worry about all that. To attach a suppressor, open the weapon window and press the circle button. Snake, they're using stun grenades. Watch out!
Stun grenades?
Yeah, it's a new weapon they invented themselves. It uses an intense blast of light and sound to knock out the enemy temporarily. If you're looking at the light from one of those things when it goes off, you can kiss your optics goodbye. If one gets tossed your way, turn around quick. Snake, they're using stun grenades. Watch out!
You going to save? Good luck.
Thanks.
Move! Move!
What? Not here? He's not here? Did we lose him?
Keep looking. Move! Move!
What's wrong? Where's he hiding?
First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way.
Snake, there are rats living in that area.
The Mark 22 is a tranquilizer gun. You can use it to take enemies down without hurting them. The thing is, the amount of time it takes for the tranquilizer to work depends on which part of the body the dart hits. If you need to drop an enemy in one shot, aim for the head. The Mark 22 can also be equipped with a suppressor. With a suppressor equipped, you won't need to worry about anybody hearing the shot. But the suppressor will deteriorate each time the gun is fired. The durability of your suppressor is displayed on the weapon icon whenever the suppressor is equipped. Be sure to keep an eye on it. A suppressor can be unequipped by pressing the enter button while the weapon window is open. It's a good idea to take the suppressor off a gun when you don't need it.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen On the Beach?
No, I don't know it.
It's about the survivors of the Third World War. The entire northern hemisphere is obliterated in a nuclear holocaust, and it's only a matter of time before the few survivors left in the southern hemisphere are poisoned by the deadly fallout. Their only hope is an American nuclear submarine that escapes to the southern hemisphere. They set out for the Arctic to investigate the fallout. The movie came out in '59, and the year that the war was supposed to happen was 1964. In other words, this year.
Nice warning. Let's hope it stays just a movie.
I've been waiting for this moment. That's it. That's the stance. I don't think so. What? A female spy? This bitch is wearing perfume. Stay where you are. I've had enough of your judo.
I see you've got yourself a single-action army.
That's right. There'll be no accidents this time.
You call that an accident? Well, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been showing off.
What did you say?
It's a nice gun, I'll give you that. But the engraving gives you no tactical advantage whatsoever. Unless you were planning to auction it off as a collector's item. And you're forgetting one more very basic thing. You don't have what it takes to kill me.
We'll see.
That thing only carries 6 shots. The Makarov carries 8. You have to get a feel for how many you have left. This is a high-class weapon. It's not meant for shooting people.
Damn! This isn't over yet.
Don't.
Why?
He's still young.
You'll regret stopping me. Damn it! I've got to get back before he does.
It looks like you've got rid of all the ocelots.
Yeah.
Now proceed with the rescue of Sokolov. According to Eva, you should start by going to the crevice to the north and...
Can we trust her?
What's that?
Eva is with the KGB, isn't she? Can I really believe what she says? How do I know she won't double-cross me?
There are no guarantees in espionage, Snake, only calculated guesses. At this point in time, the KGB stands nothing to gain by stabbing us in the back.
So you're saying I can trust her?
I'm saying the chance that she'll betray you is low.
Ah.
Of course, we checked the route she gave you against our own data. It looks like a pretty solid infiltration route. It makes good use of weak spots in the enemy's defenses. You shouldn't have any problems. Follow the route Eva showed you and proceed with the mission.
Roger.
First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way. Snake, your number one priority in this mission is rescuing Sokolov. Eva said he is in the lab, so head over there.
Right.
Do you remember how to get to the lab?
You mean what Eva told me?
Yes.
Of course I do.
All right, repeat it for me.
Major, do you think I'd forget something like that?
Let's hear it then.
First I head north,
Hmm?
and then I'll come to a crevice,
And then?
and then...
All right, let's go over this one more time. First, head north through the jungle. Enter the cave through the crevice to the north. Follow the cave to the end and you'll come out in an aqueduct surrounded by a mangrove. Follow the aqueduct to the north and you should arrive at a warehouse. Climb out of the water and enter the warehouse. After you've infiltrated the warehouse, pass through it to the north. Then you'll emerge in the woods again. The lab will be directly to the north. Are we clear now?
Yeah.
Snake.
I got it. Basically, I just head north, right?
Eva was right when she said that operating in an unknown jungle at night is extremely dangerous. In my former outfit, the SAS, we'd always be sure to set up camp before sunset and wait until daybreak before setting out again. Being able to stay in that abandoned factory made things a lot easier for you. You ought to be thanking Eva.
Major, what's this temptation Eva was talking about?
In the Old Testament of the Bible, Eve was seduced by a snake into tasting the fruit of knowledge. By eating the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command and were cast out from the Garden of Eden. Thus, it was the snake who led mankind into original sin.
Come to think of it, I did break a rib in the virtuous mission. Maybe that's where Eva came from.
But the one who tempted Adam into eating the forbidden fruit was Eve. You may be working together, but she's still a KGB operative. Don't let your guard down.
I don't intend to.
Snake, I heard you got a scientist disguise from Eva.
Yeah.
Go to uniform on the camouflage screen and choose scientist to disguise yourself as a scientist.
Scientist, huh?
But it won't do you any good to go around the jungle wearing a scientist disguise.
No one would be that stupid.
You're right. No one would think of going around the jungle in a scientist disguise. If they did, they'd have to be a fool. More than a fool. A complete dumbass. Don't you think so, Snake?
Yeah.
Thermal goggles create a thermal image based on the heat emitted by objects in view. With the thermal goggles equipped, you'll be able to quickly spot enemies hidden deep within the jungle. Also, you can locate plants, animals, and traps. Use it to your advantage. However, once you activate the thermal goggles, you begin draining battery energy. And remember, once you're out of battery juice, You won't be able to use your other electronic devices. Snake, if you find an item box, use first-person view to take a good look and find out what's inside. Sometimes it's dangerous to blindly go after an item. That's why you should check first to make sure the item in the item box is worth the trouble. If you can't get a good look, you can use your binoculars. Snake, the damage that an enemy takes from your gun depends on where you hit him. If you hit an arm or leg, one shot won't be enough to finish him. If you want to take an enemy out in one shot, you'll have to use a first-person view attack and get a solid shot to the head. When you press the weapon button with the handgun, you aim, and when you release it, you fire. If, after aiming, you wish to withdraw your aim without firing, release the weapon button slowly. You'll just have to practice until you get the hang of it. I've heard of a lot of cases where fresh recruits accidentally fired on enemies during a hold-up. If you train yourself now, you won't be liable to misfire when the pressure's on. If you're unsure of yourself, you should practice. Snake, the damage that an enemy takes from your gun depends on where you hit him.
That area is home to the Sunda whistling thrush. Snake, I looked at your medical record. You've been exposed to an atomic blast?
Yeah, the Bravo shot. It was a hydrogen bomb test conducted at Bikini Atoll on March 1st, 1954. I was at the American base on Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands when the ashes of death started falling from the sky.
Any symptoms?
None. At least, not yet. But a lot of the guys who were in it with me are now suffering from thyroid cancer and leukemia. Some of them are dead already. One of these days. Anyway, I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah. That area is home to the Sunda whistling thrush. Some types of food spoil faster than others. Snake, there are rats living in that area. Snake.
Hey, Snake, remember back at the abandoned factory when you whittled the grip of that 45 down?
Yeah,
I've never heard of a customization like that before. Why the grip?
to fit it with a knife.
A knife? You're gonna keep the knife and the gun both at the ready?
That's the idea.
Why would you want to do that?
Sometimes a knife works better in close proximity encounters. So I equip both at the same time. That way I can switch back and forth in an instant.
Badass. So that's that.
CQC.
Snake, you said Eva said her Mauser was a Type 17, right?
Yeah, what about it?
That model was produced in the 1920s in a weapons lab in the Shaanxi province in China. The cartridge part sticks out lower than the original to accommodate 45 caliber rounds. The barrel and chamber are a little bit thicker too. But most telling of all, it's got Chinese characters engraved on both sides of the frame like you saw. And that firing stance Eva was talking about where you hold the gun horizontally, that's a trademark of the Chinese. Just like you were saying, when you're firing in full auto mode, the muzzle jump effect gives you a horizontal strafing motion. They say it's especially deadly in indoor and close-range mop-up actions. The Japanese called it bandit shooting and used to dread it. Makes you wonder where she learned to shoot like that. You know that army motorcycle that Eva was riding? That's a replica of a German model.
A replica?
Yeah. After World War II, the Soviets confiscated an entire assembly line from a German motorcycle factory, machines and all.
And then they took it back with them and started producing replicas?
Exactly. Originally, that motorcycle was designed to be used with a sidecar attached. That means it's got enough power to drag a 200-plus pound sidecar around.
So that's how she could pull off all those crazy stunts.
Uh-huh. Of course, it takes a lot of skill to be able to control that much power. That Eva chick is something else. So you've got an M1911A1, huh?
Yeah, Eva gave it to me. She said it used to belong to a Western officer.
Looks like someone did a little work on it, too.
It's more than a little. First of all, the feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. It's not going to have any feeding problems. The slide's been replaced with a reinforced version, and it meshes perfectly with the frame. The frame itself has been iron welded and scraped down multiple times for maximum precision. The front strap part of the frame has been checkered to make it dig into the hand. That prevents any slipping. The sight system's original too. It's a 3-dot type. It's got an enlarged front sight, giving it superior target sighting capability. The regular hammer's been replaced with a ring hammer. That enhances the cocking control and increases the hammer down speed. They also reworked the grip safety to accommodate the ring hammer. Looks like they eliminated it altogether. This is a tool for pros. The thumb safety and the slide stop are extended to allow for more precise handling. The base of the trigger guard is whittled down so you can use a high grip. And the trigger itself is a long type for easy finger access. The trigger pull is about 3.5 pounds. That's about 1.5 pounds lighter than normal. The magazine well has been widened to make it easier to put in a new magazine. The magazine catch button has been cut down low to make it harder to hit it by mistake. The mainspring housing has been changed to a flat type to increase grip, and it's even been fitted with stepping so it doesn't slip from the recoil when firing. On top of that, they added cocking serrations to the front part of the slide. That lets you load and eject cartridges faster in an emergency. Whoever did this is a professional. No question, this thing could shoot a one-hole at 25 yards in a machine rest.
Well, I'll be damned. That's some gun.
Yeah, I've never used a weapon this fine in my life.
Those are some funky clothes you're wearing.
Yeah, it's called a sneaking suit.
Sneaking suit? What's that all about?
I'm not sure, but it looks like what the boss was wearing.
Well, whatever it is, it's a fine piece of work. The suit seems to be made of some kind of special bulletproof fiber. Wearing it should reduce all the damage you take by half. The waterproofing and heat and moisture insulation are top-notch. Just having it on will reduce the amount of stamina you burn. It even increases your overall camo index. You got yourself a keeper, Snake.
Yeah, maybe we should make it the official uniform of Fox.
When you're using the assault rifle, pressing the weapon button will hold it at waist level. That's nice if you need to drop nearby enemies with some speed. The camo index...
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you ever seen the War of the Worlds?
No.
These flying saucers from Mars arrive on Earth disguised as meteorites. The saucers use their heat rays to attack the nearby towns. And then...
Something wrong?
The thing is, I was too scared to watch. I had my eyes shut almost the whole time.
Then you haven't seen it.
No, it's not that. It's based on a novel by H.G. Wells.
You haven't seen it, have you?
That does remind me, though. When I was 2 years old, my father listened to the radio drama version of the story. It was right after dinner on Sunday, and we were relaxing in the living room. They said monsters had come out of a meteorite that landed in New Jersey. It sounded just like a real live news broadcast. My father said he and my older brother actually believed it and started yelling and panicking. My mother supposedly grabbed me from my crib and took me out to the car, still wrapped up in blankets. But then, just as my dad was about to start the car, he realized that it was all just a radio drama. Because on the car's radio, they were playing Bing Crosby tunes. No matter what station he turned to, no one else seemed to be reporting on this big history-making news story.
Sounds like something out of the big broadcast.
Nobody said a word. We all went back to our rooms. My father and brother got off with a scolding from my mother, but I was the one who really suffered. After that incident, every time I acted up, my father and brother would scare me by saying, "The Martians are coming!"
That's terrible.
Isn't it, though?
So, you haven't seen the movie?
I saw it. So even nuclear weapons wouldn't work against the Martian war machines.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Snake, If you conceal yourself like the Martians did, the enemy won't know what hit them.
Conceal myself.
Maybe not in a meteorite, but if you can hide yourself inside something a little more close at hand.
Close at hand.
Something like a box.
Ah, I get it. So, you never saw the movie.
I saw it, all right?
That swamp seems pretty deep. It's probably deep enough to dive underwater and swim around. Press the crawl button when you're swimming on the surface to dive underwater. The controls when you're underwater are quite different from when you're on land. The left stick controls the direction you're facing. Press up, down, left or right to turn in that direction. Press the CQC button or the crawl button to move forward. Each button press will move you one stroke forward. Press the button repeatedly to swim faster. You can also press the action button to surface in an emergency. While you're swimming, you can use the right stick to look in a different direction without changing the direction you're going. Snake, you'll be helpless if a crocodile attacks you in the water. You can't see behind you when you're swimming, so if you're in a crocodile-infested swamp, keep an eye on your six. Also, by using your sensors, you should be able to detect crocodiles before they get too close. Your actions can lower your stamina. The more demanding the activity, the more stamina consumed.
Exactly. Walking slowly will conserve stamina, while actions like rolling, crawling, and stalking consume large amounts of it. Try your best to avoid unnecessary actions in order to conserve stamina.
Press the crawl button while hanging to drop straight down. Snake, I don't recommend running around wildly. You need to determine when it's best to run and when it's best just to walk. Snake, press the left stick down on the radio screen to open the memory window.
Snake, be careful. That area is inhabited by coral snakes. The coral snake is a venomous snake that originally hails from the Americas. Its venom is a very potent neurotoxin, so don't let it bite you. If you do get bitten, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to neutralize the poison with a serum injection. The colorful red and black patterns on the coral snake are a warning sign. Apparently, the bright flashy colors and pattern let other animals know that it carries a deadly poison that keeps them from attacking. There are many animals that mimic the colors of known poisonous animals as a defense. See, by mimicking other poisonous creatures, they increase their chances of survival. There is another non-poisonous snake called the milk snake that borrows its coloring from the coral snake.
Uh-huh.
You're not even listening, are you?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about something you're interested in then.
The taste?
Yes. It says here that coral snakes are pretty good in a snaky kind of way.
A snaky kind of way, huh?
That area is inhabited by the milk snake. The milk snake closely resembles the coral snake, but it's actually not venomous. Even so, you'll still take damage if it bites you, so don't get too close.
So is there a way to tell the difference between a milk snake and a coral snake?
It's pretty difficult. They really do look almost exactly alike. I guess if I had to pick something, I'd say it's that the milk snake is much less aggressive.
Okay.
Ah, I just thought of a better way. You're going to love this.
What?
Eat it.
Eat it?
Yeah, the guide says milk snakes don't taste very good.
Is that right? But if I've already caught and eaten it, what does it matter which kind of snake it was?
It doesn't, does it? Shoot, I thought I had a good idea. You'll suffer broken bones if you jump from too high a place or get hit with a severe blow. When you have a fracture, your maximum life goes down. Fractures will heal little by little over time, but you can heal them right away by going into cure in the survival viewer and following the necessary procedure. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. Snake, that area is inhabited by the poison dart frog. The poison dart frog is native to the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. They normally grow between 2 and 5 centimeters in length, but for some reason the ones in that area seem to be much bigger than that. Poison dart frogs are known to carry a potent neurotoxin called pamiliotoxin. Long ago, people used the poison to coat their arrows for hunting. Watch out, because if you eat one, you'll get food poisoning. That area is inhabited by Indian gavials. You can capture animals alive by using the tranquilizer gun or a mouse trap. Snake, that's the home to the otten frog.
I see you have the bug juice equipped. It's useful for keeping the bugs away. If you open the item window and press the enter button, you'll be able to keep the nasty critters like hornets and leeches at bay for a brief period of time. Use it well. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, raindrop was used by Germany during World War II. Even now, it's still used a lot in Eastern Europe. It's designed to be especially inconspicuous in the rain, so you'll get the most out of it if you put it on during a downpour. When you're using the assault rifle, pressing the weapon button will hold it at waist level. You're on a solo sneaking mission. Your success is based on your ability to survive. That's where the survival viewer comes in. The survival viewer contains everything you need to survive out in the field. Use camouflage to change your camouflage and backpack to select your gear. Use food to eat, cure to treat wounds, and map to view a detail of the area. You've also got options that let you change the settings to suit your mission preferences. Got it? Raindrop was used by Germany during World War II.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen For a Fistful of Dollars?
Nope, never.
It's a spaghetti western.
Spaghetti western?
It's really cool, especially the main character's stylish gunplay.
Gunplay?
I saw it in England on the Major's recommendation, but it hasn't come out in the States yet. It's so cool. They'll bring it to America, I'm sure. You have to see it sometime.
Sure.
Snake, are you there?
Eva,
Did you miss me?
did you make it without any trouble?
No one saw me.
So you're back with Vulcan.
In a matter of speaking.
What about the boss?
Yeah, she's here too.
Better be careful.
Thanks, I will. The boss and I get along pretty well, though. I guess we traitors have a lot in common.
Why would anyone want to defect? Betraying your country like that, I just don't get it.
Are you talking about the boss?
Why do you do it? Weren't you born and raised in America?
Yes, in a small rural town. I never even knew there were other countries, other cultures, other ways of thinking, until I went to work for the NSA. And one day, I'd found I'd lost faith in the things I'd been taking for granted.
What did you see? What was it that made you want to change sides?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
I saw the universe.
The universe?
Not the actual universe. The universe as the intelligence community sees it. I realized that the gravity in this universe was holding me back. That's all. People and countries are both changed by their environment and by the times.
That sounds like what the boss was saying.
There's a world of difference between this country and America. But it's only a difference of position, a difference of perspective. Coming here made me realize something. Half of what I'd been told was a complete and utter lie. The other half was a conveniently constructed lie.
Where's the truth then?
It's hidden in the lies.
Are you lying too?
Who knows? I've been trained to make even the most severe falsehood sound like the honest truth. Weren't you?
No. I believe because I have to, even if it is a lie. That's part of my mission.
I'll have to remember that. If you need me, give me a call on the radio. My frequency is 142.52. See ya.
First, head north through the jungle. Enter the cave through the crevice to the north. Follow the cave to the end and you'll come out in an aqueduct surrounded by a mangrove. Follow the aqueduct to the north and you should arrive at a warehouse. Climb out of the water and enter the warehouse. After you've infiltrated the warehouse, pass through it to the north. Then you'll emerge in the woods again. The lab will be directly to the north. First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way. Stand near a fallen enemy and press the weapon button with no weapon equipped to grab the body. Hold the weapon button and move to drag the body. Release the weapon button to put the body down. Press the crawl button while hanging to drop straight down. The distance that you throw grenades and other throwable weapons is determined by how hard you press the weapon button. Snake, the Mark 22 is a tranquilizer gun. Use it to put enemies to sleep without harming them. The speed with which the tranquilizer takes effect depends on the point of impact on the enemy. If a target is hit on the arm or leg, the tranquilizer won't take effect immediately, but a target hit on the head will drop like a fly. If you want to take an enemy out in a flash, aim for the head. You can't keep hanging forever.
Snake, that area should be inhabited by tree frogs. By the way, Snake,
What?
you know the Ocelot unit commander?
Ocelot?
Yeah, that's not his real name, is it?
I wouldn't think so.
Is it a code name?
You mean like Snake?
Yeah.
Maybe. Why? Is that strange?
No, I was just wondering why he's called Ocelot.
Why's that?
Well, I looked it up, and it turns out the ocelot is a wild cat whose habitat stretches from the southern U.S. down to northern Argentina. They live in a variety of different environments, from tropical rainforests to savannas. The biggest ones can grow up to 1 meter in length. They're normally solitary creatures, and their diet consists mainly of small animals and fish. During the day, they sleep up in the trees, but at night...
Yeah, paramedic.
Oh, right. So the ocelot is an animal that lives on the American continent. But then I wondered, why would a Soviet officer be using the name of an American wildcat?
Good question. Maybe it's because he's fast and agile like an ocelot.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But why'd you go to all the trouble of looking it up?
Because I was curious. Was it helpful?
Sure.
You should be able to find Siberian ink-cap mushrooms growing in that area. Snake, there's a fruit called the golova growing in that area. Food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food. When you have food poisoning, your life will continuously decrease. If left untreated, you'll eventually throw up whatever it was you ate. That'll get rid of the food poisoning, but you'll also use up a lot of stamina. So it's a good idea to treat it yourself before you vomit. To cure food poisoning, go into Cure in the survival viewer and take some antidote. You should be able to find Siberian ink-cap mushrooms growing in that area.
You're on a solo sneaking mission. Those are some funky clothes you're wearing. The woodland paint is most effective in forest environments. It'll work best if you use it when infiltrating forest areas. Raindrop was used by Germany during World War II.
That area is known as Chorny Prud. The name means something like the Black Shore in Russian. It got its name from the deep swamp that covers the area. The crocodiles in that swamp are extremely vicious. Apparently, they've already chewed up a bunch of soldiers out on patrol. Now no one even dares to go near the swamp. They said that most of the soldiers who were killed were attacked from behind while they were in the water. You be careful out there.
Eva, what kind of unit are those ocelots I fought a little while ago?
The Ocelot unit is an elite group composed of soldiers handpicked from among the ranks of Spetsnaz, the Special Forces wing of GRU. They've undergone even more rigorous training than regular Spetsnaz. Their skill with weapons is the stuff of legends. You'll find they're much better shots than the rest of GRU. Watch yourself. The crevice that leads to the cave is still a ways to the north. Keep heading that way. The crocodiles in that swamp are extremely vicious. Apparently, they've already chewed up a bunch of soldiers out on patrol. Now no one even dares to go near the swamp. They said that most of the soldiers who were killed were attacked from behind while they were in the water. You be careful out there. The crevice that leads to the cave is still a ways to the north. Keep heading that way. The crocodiles in that swamp are extremely vicious.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen Jason and the Argonauts?
I can't say I have.
It's based on Greek mythology. There's this ship called the Argo, and it sets sail in search of the Golden Fleece. Along the way, it encounters many dangers. They run into all kinds of monsters, like bronze giants and the deadly seven-headed Hydra and the vicious bird-like harpies. The most spectacular part of all was the battle scene with an army of skeletons. It was like they were actually standing up and fighting.
Are you serious?
If you don't believe me, go see it for yourself. Then you'll understand the magic of movies. It was totally amazing.
Yeah, all right. If I make it back alive, I'll go see it.
It just came out, so I'm sure it'll still be playing.
Snake, what in God's name?
How does it look?
It looks cool.
Huh?
It looks cool on you.
It does?
Yeah.
I don't think cool is the right word.
Why? What's wrong with it?
What's wrong? Don't you think it looks silly? Doesn't it make you laugh? Aren't you going to ask me what the hell I was thinking?
No.
Huh.
I think it really does look good. It reminds me of the alligator people.
Oh, the... what?
The Alligator People. It's a science fiction movie. You've never heard of it?
No.
Oh, well, you should see it sometime. It's about this guy who gets hurt in a car accident and tries to heal his wounds by injecting himself with a crocodile serum, but then his head turns into a crocodile head. You look just like him with the mask on. That's awesome!
Right.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. I suppose you might be able to disguise yourself as a crocodile by wearing that cap and sticking your head out of the water. First, head north through the jungle. Enter the cave through the crevice to the north. Follow the cave to the end and you'll come out in an aqueduct surrounded by mangrove. Follow the aqueduct to the north and you should arrive at a warehouse. Climb out of the water and enter the warehouse. After you've infiltrated the warehouse, pass through it to the north. Then you'll emerge in the woods again. The lab will be directly to the north.
That area is inhabited by Indian gavials.
A cap shaped like a crocodile head, you say?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. You know, animal disguises are one of the oldest tricks in the book in the intelligence world. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I've heard that during World War II, the OSS used to use cow suits. Supposedly, they sent agents out to hide in herds of real cows so they could spy on enemy units as they passed by. Nowadays, I guess most people wouldn't even give a crocodile-shaped cap a second look. They think it was just a gag item. But if you use it the right way, it can be an effective weapon for spying. I gotta hand it to you, Snake. You're one sharp guy. You okay, Snake?
Now forget it.
Huh?
The crevice that leads to the cave is still a ways to the north. Keep heading that way.
Eva, where are you now?
I told you, didn't I? I'm right near the colonel.
Pretty weak answer, if you ask me.
I suppose you're right.
Eva.
Snake, I'm under orders to cooperate with you, but that doesn't mean I have to tell you everything I know. I would assume the same applies to you, too. The crevice that leads to the cave is still a ways to the north. The crevice that... The crocodile... The crevice that... The crocodiles... Tell me something, Snake. Why did you let Ocelot get away?
I thought I told you already.
Because he's still a kid?
Yeah,
Pretty lame excuse if you ask me.
you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you're right.
The crevice... The crocodiles... The cre... Snake, be careful. I might not have told you this yet, but that swamp is rigged with traps.
Tell me about it.
So you know already.
Yeah,
Well, then you're all set. The traps in that area are set to go off when a rope stretched along the ground is disturbed. Keep a close eye on the ground and make sure you don't trip over a rope. I mean, far be it from me to call you an idiot who can't avoid even the simplest of traps, but you know... What's the matter?
Nothing. Never mind.
Snake, be careful. That barbed wire is electrified and you'll get a shock if you touch it. It looks like there's no way to get over it. Snake, be careful. That... If there's something to grab onto during a fall, press the action button when you pass in front of it. When you press the weapon button with the handgun... Snake, if you find an item box...
Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. Eat food to recover stamina. To take a rest, all you have to do is save and exit the game.
Desert is a brown-colored face paint used for operations in mountainous terrain as well. It should let you blend in well in mountain and desert environments. Those are some funky clothes you're wearing. Covering your body is a good start.
Snake, the barbed wire in that area has a high-voltage electric current running through it. You'll get electrocuted if you touch that barbed wire, so don't.
Electrified barbed wire, huh? Looks like I'll have to find another way around.
That won't be necessary.
It won't.
Nope. Electrified barbed wire is a formidable barrier, but it's a pain in the neck to maintain. Apparently, it's always breaking down because wild animals keep running into it, but the word is they don't have enough personnel to fix it. If you look closely at the bottom of the barbed wire, you should be able to spot a hole somewhere. Try crawling your way through there. Snake, the barbed wire... Snake, have you heard about the massacre that happened in the forest near the village of Gnezdovo?
The Katyn Forest Massacre, right?
During World War II, the German army came upon the bodies of 4,000 dead Polish in the forest of Katyn.
Yeah, Germany blamed the Soviet Union, but the Soviet Union denied it, blaming Germany in return.
The truth is that Stalin ordered the NKVD to carry out the killings. And it's not just Katyn. In places like Western Ukraine and Belarus, there must have been at least 20,000 Poles in the prison camps.
Why are you telling me this?
Volgin was one of the people responsible. He was one of the vicious leaders behind it.
Volgin was?
He blamed it on a prisoner revolt to allay any fears, and requested they be put to death. I've heard that Volgin even removed the blindfolds from each prisoner before he beat them to death.
I knew he wasn't all there in the head, but this...
Not someone you could be friends with. Good. You made it to Bolshaya Pust. The name Bolshaya Pust means something close to the Great Cavity. It probably got that name from the crevice to the north. There's a fortified area in the southern part of Bolshaya Pust that's strung with barbed wire. To the north of that is a relay station that serves as both a depot for material shipments and a communication facility. The crevice leading to the cave is located to the north of the relay station. Head north. The crevice that leads to the cave is to the north of your current location. Keep heading north. Snake, the barbed wire in that area has a high voltage electric current.
You want to save? Chin up.
I'll be in touch.
Ah, you got yourself some claymores. The M18A1 Claymore is a new type of anti-personnel directional mine developed in the U.S. after the Korean War. The gently curved casing is packed with 1.5 pounds of high-grade explosives. The side facing the enemy is lined with 700 steel ball bearings. So when the mine explodes, the ball bearings simultaneously burst out of the casing. Anyone in the kill zone, be he friend or foe, is instant Swiss cheese. The mine is triggered by an electric detonator. Apparently, the detonator's got some kind of special motion detector built in.
Yeah. When the mine is planted, it reacts to anything that comes close and automatically explodes.
Just make sure you don't trip your own mine or something stupid like that.
I'll be careful.
You can pick up a planted claymore by crawling over it. Mines planted by the enemy can also be picked up in this way. So if you come across a minefield, it's a good idea to crawl through it and pick up the mines.
What are they doing making minefields out of Western mines anyway?
They're probably doing field performance evaluations on mines they either captured or stole from the West. The structure of the claymore isn't actually all that complicated. They must be learning a lot about them. It might not be long before we start seeing Claymoraski mines. So you've got your uniform. The camo index.
Snake, By the way, Snake, do you have a calorie mate?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh.
You want it?
What?
Do you want the calorie mate?
What are you saying?
You want it, don't you?
Well, I didn't say that.
So you don't want it then?
No. But if you were going to give it to me as a token of thanks for me helping you out, then of course I wouldn't refuse it.
Are you on a diet?
What did you say?
Calorie mate is supposed to be really good for losing weight.
Are you saying I'm fat?
No.
I'm not on a diet, and I don't need one. I just wanted to try the taste.
Oh, sorry.
Be careful with what you say.
Yeah, sorry.
So, is it true?
Is what true?
That it's good for losing weight.
Yeah. Calorie Mate provides a nutritionally balanced source of energy, and it makes counting calories easy. That's what's supposed to make it good for dieting.
Oh, I see.
I heard that all of the geisha in Japan use it.
Geisha?
Yeah,
I've never heard about that.
really.
Yes. I'm sure there are some geisha out there using Calorie Mate for diets, but I doubt all of them are using it.
No, I guess not. Eva, that was some pretty nice driving.
Really?
Ballsy, yet overwhelmingly accurate. That kind of driving isn't something you can pick up in a couple of days.
I told you to trust me. I love motorcycles.
It is not easy to jackknife a bike like that.
So, you believe me now?
Think I'll pass on going tandem, though.
Oh, that's too bad. Snake, the barbed wire in the crevice that leads... Snake, the barbed wire in that...
Huh?
You say there are attack dogs? Those attack dogs are Great Danes. The breed is originally from Germany. They've been used for hundreds of years as hunting dogs. As you can see, they're very large, strong too. They've got a calm yet courageous temperament, and on top of that, they're extremely intelligent. In some cases, a trained Great Dane can be more dangerous than a human opponent. Watch out for them.
Interesting.
Forget it, Snake.
Forget what?
You were thinking about how they taste, weren't you?
I wasn't thinking.
Don't lie to me. I could tell by the look on your face.
You can't see my face.
No, but I can imagine it. Don't you dare think about trying to capture an attack dog. You hear me?
Yeah.
Huh? Footsteps.
Huh? Freeze!
just my imagination. Just my imagination. Just my imagination. What's wrong? Huh? What's wrong?
There's a gun emplacement installed over there. A gun emplacement is a grave threat in the enemy's hands, but a valuable weapon if you can occupy it. Stand next to a gun emplacement and press the action button to operate it. Press the weapon button to fire. You can use the aim button to zoom in on a target. Be aware, though, that the gun's ammo supply is limited. To move away from a gun emplacement, press the action button once again. Good, you've reached the relay station, but stay alert. That station is an enemy strongpoint. The security is bound to be tight.
But there's no other way to get to the crevice if I don't make it through.
Exactly. The crevice leading to the cave is in the north of that area. Find a way to slip past the enemy and head north. Press the crawl button while hanging to drop straight down. You can knock an enemy instantly unconscious with this technique if you land on top of him. When you're in a tree, try aiming for an enemy passing beneath. If there's something to grab onto during a fall, press the action button when you pass in front of it. Stand near a fallen enemy and press the weapon button with no weapon equipped to grab the body. When you press the weapon button with the handgun,
Snake, there are rats living in that area. Treating serious wounds. Snake, there are rats living in that area. Snake.
Those gun emplacements are DSHKs, a large caliber machine gun officially adopted by the Soviet Army in 1939. The name DSHK comes from the initials of the two creators, Degtyarev and Shpagin, plus the Russian word for large caliber. They saw a lot of action in World War II. The Russians used them as anti-aircraft and anti-armor guns for position defense, vehicle turrets, and infantry support. The combined weight of the gun and the emplacements is almost 350 pounds, so you can forget about picking one up and taking it with you. The gun is gas-powered and capable of spitting out 550 rounds a minute on a belt feed system, which is bad news for you when the enemy's using it. Hide behind something and lob a grenade at it, or attack it from outside the emplacement's firing angle. Either way, it's not a good idea to rush at it head on. Or you might try using a smoke grenade to put up a smoke screen that'll cover your approach. If you manage to get close to a gun emplacement, you can take it over by pressing the action button. The weapon button controls the trigger. Beware though, the ammo supply is limited. To move away from a gun emplacement, just press the action button again. Use it when you need the upper hand. If you manage to get close to a gun emplacement, you can take it over by pressing the action button. The weapon button controls the trigger. Beware though, the ammo supply is limited. To move away from a gun emplacement, just... If you manage to get close to a gun emplacement, pattern clothing. If you manage...
The crevice leading to the cave is to the north of that base. Keep heading north.
Eva, about the 45 and the Mark 22 you showed me.
Yeah,
You said you got them from a vault full of Western weapons, right?
that I did.
How? A vault full of secret Western technology should be under strict surveillance.
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm not telling anyway.
Why not?
It'd be a waste of time.
A waste of time.
Even if I explained how I did it, you'd never be able to do it yourself.
What does that mean?
Exactly what it sounds like. Snake, there's a provision storehouse in the center of that area and an armory to the northeast. By destroying them, you should be able to cut off supplies to the enemy in that area. The crevice leading to the cave is to the north of that base. Snake. The crevice...
You want to save? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Huh? Huh? Wait, huh?
Major,
What is it?
that attack chopper is parked on the heliport.
The one from before?
Yeah, the one that took away the Shagohod during the Virtuous mission.
Perhaps it's an armed variation of the Mi-8 hip.
No, some of it looks the same, but the overall shape is different. It's got stub wings and the cockpit canopy looks like an angular greenhouse.
No kidding. Then it must be some kind of new model. I've heard stories recently that the Soviets are developing a flying infantry combat vehicle. That's gotta be it.
A flying infantry combat vehicle?
Yeah, a transport chopper with troop-carrying capabilities. Think of it as an attack transport chopper version of France's AMX VCI or the Soviet BMP. They must be doing field tests on the initial prototype.
A next-generation chopper that's a little smaller than the hip. Maybe we should call it a Hind.
Not bad. It's cool with me.
Then it's settled. We'll refer to that new type helicopter as a Hind from now on. The Hind you see parked at the heliport must not be ready to fly. You don't need to worry about it taking off. If you're going to destroy it, now might be your chance. The Hind you see parked at the heliport must not be ready to fly. You don't need to worry about it taking off. If you're going to destroy it, now might be your chance. Press the crawl.
You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on, or spend too much time in the water or the swamp. When you catch a cold, your stamina goes down more rapidly. You'll also sneeze from time to time, and the noise can alert enemies to your presence. Plus, your body will shake, so you might not be able to distinguish vibrations very well. To cure a cold, go into Cure in the survival viewer and take some cold medicine. You'll get a stomachache if you eat something rotten. To cure a stomachache, go into Cure in the survival viewer and take some digestive medicine. Snake, there are rats living in that area. The rats in that area are the descendants of wild Norway rats. Leeches will sometimes attach themselves to you if you spend a long time in the water or the swamp. When you've got leeches on you, they'll suck your blood, causing you to lose stamina. You should get rid of them as soon as possible. To get rid of leeches, go into Cure in the survival viewer and press your cigar into them. Or, if you use the insecticidal bug juice ahead of time, the leeches won't bother you as long as the bug juice is in effect. Snake, there are rats living in that area.
Pattern clothing. Your field uniform is not just a set of threads to wear.
Eva. There's an attack helicopter docked at the heliport.
Oh. It's an attack chopper currently being developed at Groznygrad. They're using it as a patrol craft while they conduct tests. Didn't I tell you?
No.
The helicopter docked there is probably in for maintenance right now, so you won't have to worry about it taking off. If you're thinking of destroying it, now's your chance.
Sounds like a plan, but how?
Huh?
There's no way I'm going to punch through that armor with an assault rifle. Isn't there a weapon somewhere that can do some real damage?
You'll just have to figure that out yourself. The helicopter docked there is probably in for maintenance right now, so you won't have to worry about it taking off. If you're thinking of destroying it, now's your chance.
Eva. You said you got along with the boss, right?
Yeah, we get along pretty well. I admire her. Although she's supposed to be the distant hero, for some reason she's nice to me. She even carried my bags for me the other day. I was impressed.
Your bags?
Maybe because we're both defectors. We never talk much, but I get the feeling that she understands how I feel. I've had dreams about the whole thing. Snake, there's a provision storehouse in the center of that area and an armory to the northeast. By destroying them, you should be able to cut off supplies to the enemy in that area. Snake, there's a provision storehouse in the...
Pretty tasty.
Hey, you got a mousetrap. That mousetrap is a portable tool for capturing small animals alive. Press the weapon button to place it on the ground. Come back a little bit later and there might be a frog or a snake caught in there. Whether or not you actually catch anything, though, is all a matter of luck. Don't get all down if there's nothing in the trap. Try and try again. Also, don't forget that you need some bait in the trap or nothing's gonna come crawling in there. If you capture an animal with a trap, it won't have any bait left. Just crawl to pick it up, then put some more bait back in and set it down again. You can use the map in the survival viewer to see where you've placed traps. If you forget where you put a trap, just look at the map. Splitter is an indoor face paint. You're thinking of using a white phosphorus grenade. Like the name says, a white phosphorus grenade is one that uses white phosphorus to create an incendiary effect. White phosphorus grenades were used by the U.S. military during World War II. Back then, they were known as Willie Pete's, after the first two letters of white phosphorus. The one you've got there is probably the exact same thing. White phosphorus is a white, waxy substance that spontaneously combusts when it reacts with oxygen. The combustion temperature is over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Any human targets within the area of effect when it explodes are gonna get seriously burned. Just make sure you don't accidentally set yourself on fire. If your body does catch on fire, either plunge into some water or take off the burning clothes and put on new ones. Rolling repeatedly should put the flames out pretty quick too. Looks like you've got some TNT. TNT is short for trinitrotoluene, a pale yellow crystalline compound made from a trinitrified mix of nitric acid and sulfuric acid. It's used throughout the world as a military explosive. It has a low sensitivity and is chemically stable, making it easy to handle. It's also got a low melting point and can easily be shaped by boiling or steaming it. But because the sensitivity is so low, you need a booster to actually get it to explode.
No problem. It came with its own remote control detonator.
Good. Then all you have to do is press the weapon button to place the TNT, and then press the CQC button to set it off. The map screen in the survival viewer will display the locations where you've planted TNT. Take warning though, the radio signal for the detonator is pretty weak. Don't forget that pressing the CQC button will only set off TNT that's planted in the same area. Snow, as you might have guessed, is a winter camouflage developed to provide cover in a snowy environment. It's not solid white though. It's got a little bit of vegetation pattern mixed in too. It should work pretty well if you wear it against a white background. Huh? Footsteps.
Ah, you're here at last. Looks like the boss's info was right. Twice now you've made me taste bitter defeat. to disappoint the Cobras. But you're mine now. All of you, leave us. It's just you and me. No one to get in our way. Ocelots are proud creatures. They prefer to hunt alone. Shots. This time I've got 12 shots.
I felt that.
Damn! Quit fooling around! Fool! Stay out of this.
Snake, the only way to proceed is to fight. You have to defeat Ocelot. You can't jump over that crevice, and hand-to-hand combat is out of the question. You'll have to shoot it out with him. Take cover behind something and wait for an opening, then attack him in first-person view. Ocelot is using a revolver. Revolvers take a long time to reload when they run out of bullets. When he stops to reload, that's your chance to attack. Snake, you won't survive a fall into that crevice. Make sure you don't fall into it while rolling by mistake. Even if Ocelot hides in a blind spot, you can still shoot him from up in the trees. If he hides from you, climb a tree and attack him from there. Even if Ocelot hides in a blind spot, you can still shoot him from up in the trees. If he hides from you, climb a tree and attack him from there. Snake, you won't survive a fall into that crevice. Make sure you don't fall into it while rolling by mistake. Ocelot is using a revolver. Revolvers take a long time to reload when they run out of bullets. Snake?
It looks like there's a hornet's nest up there. If it falls down, you'll be attacked by the hornets inside. If you get attacked by hornets, swing your survival knife around or use a smoke grenade to drive them off. Wearing light-colored clothing can also be effective. There's a hornet's nest over by Ocelot too. If it drops on him, it might just create an opening. Try shooting it down.
Paramedic.
What's wrong? Are you hurt?
No,
Then what?
these hornets won't go away.
The hornets?
Yeah, they've been flying around over my head in a figure-8 pattern and won't go away. Any idea why?
Well, hornets use the figure-8 dance to signal that they found food.
Food?
Yeah, like flowers or nectar.
What does it mean?
I don't know, but at least they're not attacking you, right? I think it's best to just leave them alone. You've got bigger things to worry about, like Ocelot.
Good point.
You can beat him, Snake.
Who said I couldn't?
The way to treat a gunshot wound is to dig out the bullet using your knife. Disinfect the wound, apply a styptic, and bandage it up. Follow all those steps and the wound should heal nicely. Take care of it quickly. It looks like there's a hornet's nest up there. If it falls down, you'll be attacked by the hornets inside. If you get attacked by hornets, swing your survival knife around or use a smoke grenade to drive them off. Wearing light-colored clothing can also be effective. There's a hornet's nest over by Ocelot, too. If it drops on him, it might just create an opening. Try shooting it down. It looks like there's a hornet's nest up there.
That guy is using a single-action army. It's a 6-shot 45 caliber revolver. The only drawback is that because it's a revolver, it's a pain in the ass to reload. Ocelot will be open to attack while he's reloading. Use that window to unload on him. Ocelot has 2 single-action army revolvers. That gives him 12 bullets in all. Keep a close eye on his remaining rounds. When he stops to reload, open fire. That guy is using a single-action army. Ocelot has 2 single-action...
Ocelot is a force to be reckoned with. Don't even think about running away. The only way to proceed with the mission is to defeat him. They say that Ocelot can hit targets hiding behind obstacles by using ricochet shots. Rocks and trees won't protect you. If you stay too long in the same spot, you'll only be making yourself an easy target. Don't stand still. Keep moving. I'm not sure why, but Ocelot seems to have a thing for his cap. You might be able to get him to let down his guard by shooting it off his head. All the exits are being blocked by members of the Ocelot unit. They're fiercely loyal to Ocelot. Even if Ocelot ordered them not to get involved, they might just step in to back him up if he gets in trouble. If you get attacked by one of the Ocelots, use a grenade or something to fight back. I'm not sure why. All the exits are being blocked.
You won't get away from me!
I felt that.
Get out of here!
I've never felt a tension like this before. That's so different from simply changing a clip. This reload time is exhilarating. From that range, huh? You're all talk, huh? You fool! I've never felt a tension.
that range, huh?
You fool! Ah! Told you to stay out of this!
Damn it. He found us.
You were lucky. We'll meet again.
Snake, are you okay? Snake!
Major,
Snake.
Are you all right? You're not hurt?
no. That was a hell of a drop, but I'm fine. Looks like there's no way back up, though.
I see. Well, anyway, it's good to hear you're not injured. Slipping and falling may not have been part of the plan, but getting into that cave was. Proceed further into the cave. The cave seems to be structured like a maze, but there's an exit somewhere. Find a way out of the cave and head for the aqueduct.
All right, but it might take me a while to get through this cave.
Are you hurt?
No,
Is it the enemy? Did they set a trap for you?
not that either.
Then what is it?
It's dark in here.
Dark.
Yeah, there's no light anywhere. I should have brought a flashlight with me.
So what you're saying is that it's going to take you a while because you don't have a flashlight.
Right.
Snake, if you don't have a flashlight, you should be looking for a substitute. I tell you, American soldiers these days rely too much on ready-made equipment.
Here we go again.
What was that?
Nothing.
American soldiers rely too much on ready-made equipment. And not only that, they can't seem to grasp that one piece of equipment can have multiple functions. Back when I was in the SAS, we never had that problem. We were trained to use every piece of equipment in as many ways as possible. If you don't have a flashlight, look for something else. You need to develop flexible, innovative thinking if you want to... Hey, are you listening to me?
Yeah, of course I am.
First, take a look at what you're carrying with you now. Don't you have anything that can provide you with some light? First, take a look at what you're carrying with you now. Don't you have anything that can provide you with some light? Snake, those hornets that attacked you while you were fighting Ocelot,
I know. They look familiar, like the ones I saw during the Virtuous mission.
so it was one of the Cobras.
That's what Ocelot was saying, too.
Keep your guard up.
I will.
Your actions can lower your stamina. Press the action button when you're on top of a branch or in front of a railing to hang down from that spot. Snake, press the left stick down on the radio screen to open the memory window. Snake, remember that this operation is a solo sneaking mission. We'll be providing you with support over the radio, but out in the field you're on your own. There's no backup. And there's no way you'll survive a battle with a large enemy contingent. Avoid engagement whenever possible. Your highest priority in this mission is staying out of sight.
I see you've got yourself a ration. Rations are portable meals carried by Soviet soldiers.
I've heard some nasty stories about how they taste.
It looks like the rumors are true.
Great.
Hey, you should be grateful. Those things are designed to last. No matter how long you keep a ration, it'll never go bad. And they're surprisingly good for you, too.
I'd take a snake over this any day, even if it's a little rotten.
You are hopeless. Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That area is inhabited by the Taiwanese cobra. The Taiwanese cobra is native to Taiwan and southern China. It's quite vicious and carries a potent neurotoxin in its fangs. Be careful. If it bites you, go into the survival viewer immediately and use the cure option to inject yourself with serum.
Sounds interesting.
Don't ask me.
Huh?
The guide doesn't say. If you absolutely have to know, then you'll just have to try it yourself and see.
I didn't say anything.
But you were going to ask, weren't you? About the taste?
Maybe.
I'll talk to you later, Snake. Snake, be careful. That cave is inhabited by vampire bats. The vampire bat bites its victims and sucks their blood.
Got it.
Speaking of bats...
Just save it.
Huh?
I know you're gonna talk about vampire movies, Attack of the Vampire Donuts, or Dracula versus the Space Hippos, or something like that.
Actually, I was going to say that bats are known to use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings.
Oh.
Bats use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings, so you might be able to keep them away by blasting them with a special kind of sound wave. As for taste, I suppose there's no reason you couldn't eat them. Snake, do you hate vampire movies?
What?
Just now, you sounded like you really hated them.
I did?
Yeah,
Oh. Well, no one really likes them, do they?
some people do.
Like you.
Yeah, they're fascinating, you know? Like the movie Dracula...
Don't say it.
Why not?
Just don't.
Are you afraid?
What?
You're afraid of vampires, aren't you?
Don't be ridiculous.
But...
Listen, there are no such things as vampires. They're just a stupid, made-up legend. Even if they do seem real sometimes.
well, sure.
You think I'd be afraid of something like that?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not afraid of vampires.
Uh-huh.
It's just that whenever somebody starts talking about vampires, I end up dreaming about them that night, and I don't need that right now. That's all.
Okay. Snake, it says here you can catch maroon sharks in that area. The maroon shark is found mostly in Southeast Asia, but it's not actually a shark. It's related to the carp. It's also known as the red-finned cigar shark, the river barb, and the sultan fish.
Interesting. So how does it taste?
According to the guide, it's good, but it's kind of oily and it has a lot of little bones.
Fine with me. I never worry about the little things.
So I gathered. To eat food, press the start button to enter the survival viewer, then select food. Snake, that area is home to the Kenyan mangrove crabs. The Kenyan mangrove crab is a land-going crab. It lives in burrows dug near seashores and mangrove swamps. It's not poisonous, but it might hurt a little if it attacks you with its pinchers. Treat it with caution.
Got it. So this thing must taste pretty good, huh?
Why do you say must?
It's a crab, isn't it?
It is.
And crabs are good to eat.
What's so good about them?
You don't like crab?
Not at all.
Why not?
Why? How can you eat those things? They're all purple and yellow striped, and they stink like cat pee. But that's just my opinion. Don't listen to me. Let's see here. The guide says... No way. It says they're delicious. Well, if you want to eat one, then go right ahead, but count me out. Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy. The closer you are to them, the more accurate their shots will be, and the more damage their weapons will do. That means you've got a greater chance of getting seriously wounded. Daring frontal assaults are not a good idea. But if you do get seriously injured, go into the survival viewer and treat it immediately. Snake, there's a mushroom called the Russian glowcap growing in that area. The Russian glowcap is a kind of luminescent fungus, a mushroom that glows in the dark.
Why would a mushroom glow in the dark?
It's bioluminescent, just like a firefly. It uses the so-called luciferin-luciferase reaction. To put it simply, luciferin reacts with luciferase in the presence of magnesium 2+ ions, breaking it down into oxyluciferin and carbon dioxide. The carbonyl groups in the oxyluciferin are initially in an electrical excited state. When they return to their base state, they give off light. Did you get all that?
Not really.
Oh.
By the way, does that mushroom recharge your batteries when you eat it?
Huh?
I mean, it seems like if you ate a glowing mushroom, it might recharge your batteries or something.
Snake, your batteries are organic batteries. They produce electricity by utilizing the potential difference between cells. Organic batteries are known for their highly efficient energy conversion, but they still rely on chemical reactions between proteins and enzymes to...
So you're saying they'll get recharged?
Believe what you want.
Great.
When you get shot with an arrow, your maximum life will go down depending on how bad it is, so watch out. You can let the wound heal naturally, or you can treat it using Cure in the survival viewer to make it heal right away. To treat an arrow wound, first use your knife to dig the arrow out. Then disinfect the wound and apply styptic to stop the flow of blood. Once that's all done, the arrow wound should heal right up. That area is home to the reticulated python. The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. It's not venomous, but it still poses a threat, so watch out. Snake, that's the home to the otten frog. The otten frog is a... Snake, there are rats living in that area. Eat food to recover stamina. Capture plants and animals to get food. I have information on the local plants and animals, so don't hesitate to ask.
When you fire continuous pattern clothing, your field water.
Snake, are you all right?
Yeah, just barely. What the hell were all those hornets?
Most likely that was the pain, one of the cobras.
I figured as much. Are they tracking me?
I don't know. The cobras only take orders from the boss. Not even Volgin knows what they're really up to, so I don't know anything about them either.
No kidding.
I'll try and dig up as much as I can about them. You just focus on moving ahead. Go to the end of the cave and you'll come out in an aqueduct overgrown with mangroves. This leads to the Ponizovye swamp. And Snake, be careful. That cave
is pitch dark inside.
Good. I did remember to tell you then. If it's completely dark and you need a light, try using a torch. I heard there's some emergency torches stored somewhere in that cave.
Torches. Got it. So where are they?
Huh?
Where are the torches?
How should I know? Go find them yourself.
Eva, I wanted to ask you about Ocelot.
Yeah, I know. He's pretty infatuated with you, isn't he?
That's not what I meant. Aren't the Ocelots an elite unit?
Yeah.
So how'd he get to be their commander? He can't be any older than 18 or 19. I can't believe he's already a major.
I heard from the colonel that he's been given special treatment.
Special treatment?
Yeah, He's the son of some legendary hero or something.
No wonder he seems to have the right stuff. So who is this legendary hero anyway?
Beats me. The colonel never told me. All I heard was that his mother was supposedly shot in the gut during battle, and that he was born right there with bullets whizzing past them.
A pregnant woman in the middle of a battle?
That's what I heard. They say that when they stitched her up, the scar was shaped like a snake.
Well, that's battlefield medicine for you. What about his father, this legendary hero?
He didn't tell me. I don't think Ocelot's ever met his parents.
Are they dead?
Maybe, I don't know. There were a lot of MIAs back then, during the last days of the war. Ocelot probably would have ended up the same way. But he was taken in and raised by Gru and Volgan.
Because he was special.
That's my guess. That cave is known as Chornaya Peshara. In Russian, Chornaya Peshara means the black cave from which cold wind blows. It's a magma cavern formed millions of years ago, back when Salino-Yarsk was the site of volcanic activity. The structure of the cave is pretty complex, but you should be able to find the aqueduct if you keep moving inward. Head toward the interior of the cave. If it's completely dark and you need a light, try using a torch. I heard there's some emergency torches stored somewhere in that cave. If it's completely dark and you need a light, try using a torch. I heard there's some Go to the end of the cave and you'll come out in an aqueduct overgrown with mangroves. This leads to the Ponizovye swamp. Go to the end of the...
Do you want to save? Snake, have you seen 007 From Russia with Love?
Nah, I don't like those movies. Real spies are nothing like James Bond. It's pure fantasy.
Snake, I don't think the Major's going to like you saying that.
And even though it's fiction, I can't help but comparing myself to Bond.
What exactly don't you like about James Bond? I mean, is it the fantastic gadgets, the cars, the guns?
Major,
Snake, wouldn't you like to have a gun shaped like a pen?
what good is a pen gonna do me in the jungle? I'd look like a fool.
Then what about a snake-shaped gun? You could make it look like you're grappling with a giant snake and then get a shot in on the enemy while they're distracted. Ha!
Okay, now you're being ridiculous.
We'll make you a snake-shaped gun that folds up and fits into an attaché case.
Will you give it a rest?
Oh, I get it. You're worried about how to handle the ladies, aren't you?
No.
I knew it. To tell you the truth, I don't like the idea of playing hanky-panky with enemy femme fatales either. But that's part of Bond's appeal. You could learn a thing or two from him. I mean, what about this Eva? What are you planning to do with her?
I don't even trust her yet.
No, that's not what I mean. You can't let yourself get involved. This is a game of spy versus spy. She's using you just as much as you're using her.
I realize that.
You've got to grab the initiative, and to do that, you have to get the upper hand in the relationship. That's what a spy is supposed to do.
Get the upper hand. I don't think I'm cut out for that mission.
Maybe if you change your code name to 00 Snake.
Major.
007 is the biggest thing to come out of England since the Mayflower. I wouldn't be surprised if they made 20 more of those movies.
Didn't you know? The Major is a huge James Bond fan. Don't get him worked up like this.
Worked up.
Maybe you don't realize this, but now that you've got him started talking about Bond, I'm going to have to listen to him lecture for a whole hour after he gets off the radio.
You have my sympathy.
It's too bad you can't enjoy such a great movie, though.
I guess I'm just one of those people who can't enjoy spy flicks.
if it's complete... Snake?
Eva, what do you think?
What a dork. You must be kidding me. Are you willing to risk your life for that joke?
All right, finally I get a normal response.
What?
Everyone was giving me strange responses and acting like nothing was odd about it. I was starting to wonder myself, but now I feel better.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but you look adorable in it. I'm sorry. I've got to go. This is too much.
All right. Disgusting. Sick.
A torch? A little primitive, but a light's a light. From what I can tell, that torch is made of white birch dipped in turpentine. It burns long, so I don't think you'll have a problem with it burning out on you. If you equip it and press the CQC button, you can use it to smack the enemy. You can also swing it around by pressing that button repeatedly. Useful when you need to clear the room of bats and stuff. With the weapon button, you can light and extinguish a torch, so make sure that thing is out if an enemy is closing in. Get used to it. The light from the torch is visible from a long way off, though. It probably goes without saying, but marching into battle with a torch in your hand is not the sanest course of action. You should only light a torch when you're someplace like a cave where you can't find your way around without a light.
Yeah, I hear you.
When you fire continuously with...
Go to the end of the cave. Go to the end.
The cave seems to be structured like a maze, but there's an exit somewhere. Find a way out of the cave and head for the aqueduct. The cave seems to be structured like a maze. Your actions can lower your stamina. In the corner view, your actions can lower your stamina.
Snake, be careful. That cave is inhabited by vampire bats. Snake, it says here you can catch maroon sharks in that area. Snake, that area is inhabited by the giant anaconda. Snake, that's the home to the otten frog.
The black uniform isn't really camouflage. Whenever you find a new weapon, those are some funky clothes you're wearing.
That reminds me, I've heard they keep a shotgun stored in that part of the cave. Why don't you go look for it? Go to the end of the cave. That reminds me.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, have you heard of The Last War?
Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
It's a Japanese movie where the world ends in a nuclear war. Tensions between East and West reach the breaking point, and before anyone can stop it, they launch the ICBMs. Humanity is wiped out by a war that no one wanted. The movie depicts that destruction from the eyes of ordinary people. Their simple daily lives are torn apart by the terrible power of a war that has nothing to do with them.
Everybody's afraid of the next big war, but there's only so much that one person can do.
That's why the people who have the power to stop it have to.
I've caught you at last. We are the sons of the boss. Ha! I am the pain. Ha! I will guide you to a world of anguish beyond your imagination. Let's get started.
Snake, as long as the Pain is using his hornets to protect his body, you won't be able to damage him with gun attacks. You'll need to use a grenade to get rid of the hornet swarm first. Go into first-person view and throw a grenade at him. The shotgun should work as well. Get rid of those hornets protecting him and then attack him with a gun. The Pain seems to be directing swarms of hornets to attack you.
Be careful. If you're attacked by a swarm of hornets, your life will steadily decrease. When the hornets come to attack you, you can cause the swarm to scatter by shooting at it with your gun. Also, the hornets can't follow you into the water, so you can get away by diving into the water. Hornets are also vulnerable to fire and smoke. You can keep them away from you by using a smoke grenade. Swinging a torch around using the CQC button should also work.
Snake, watch out for those bullet bees he shoots.
Bullet bees are the name the Pain gives the special hornets he raises inside his own body. And if they get into your body, your wounds will become worse and worse until you get rid of them. If you're afflicted by bullet bees, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to dig them out with your knife. Once the bullet bees are out, don't forget to apply styptic and disinfectant to the wound.
Snake, if the Payne's hornets stick to you, you won't be able to move freely. If hornets start to stick to you, take care of them before they prevent you from moving altogether. Either jump into the water or wave your survival knife around to drive them away. If you become unable to move, wiggle the left stick and press the buttons rapidly to shake them off before you get shot. Understood? Snake, not even the Payne's special hornets can pursue you into the water, and the grenades he throws will only be half as deadly underwater. If you sense danger, escape by diving into the water. To dive underwater, press the crawl button while you're swimming on the surface. To move forward underwater, press either the CQC button or the crawl button. Use the left stick to control your direction. In a pinch, you can press the action button to quickly rise to the surface. Also, handguns and rifles can be fired underwater. You can use these to attack targets above the surface as well. The Payne can utilize the hornets under his control to seek out his enemies. Being spotted by the hornets is the same as being spotted by him. Keep an eye out for hornets above you when you emerge from underwater. Snake, not even the...
Snake, you won't be able to see a thing with a swarm of hornets covering your head. The hornets can't follow you into the water. If you find your vision being blocked by a swarm of hornets, dive into the water. You could also try driving them away with the smoke from your cigar. Waving your torch around with the CQC button should also work. You might be able to trap some of the hornets by throwing a hornet's nest at them. If you succeed, it should reduce the number of hornets the Payne has at his disposal. It might even make the nest taste better. Try it out. Hornets are known to display extremely aggressive behavior in response to the color black. So don't wear black clothing. Instead, try wearing white clothing. It should reduce the severity of the hornet's attacks. Using insecticidal bug juice on yourself should make the hornet's attacks less severe. Try it out. The way to treat a burn is with ointment and bandages. Put both of those on, and the burn should heal right up. Treat it quickly. When the Payne hits you with alarm pheromones, the hornet's attacks will become more aggressive. They'll assault you more often, so be careful. If you get covered in the alarm pheromones, you should go into the survival viewer and change your clothes immediately. Using insecticidal bug juice on yourself should make the hornet's attacks less severe. Try it out. Snake, watch out for those bullet bees! Bullet bees are the name the Payne gives the special hornets he raises inside his own body.
The Payne is said to possess the power to control his hornets at will. Watch out for insect-based attacks, especially his so-called bullet bees. The Payne doesn't just use hornets, he's got guns and grenades in his arsenal too. Be especially careful about those grenades. Snake, watch out for those bullet bees. Bullet bee is the pet name the Payne gave to a special type of hornet that he keeps inside his body. When the Payne gives the order, they fly at their target like bullets, burrow into his body, and eat away at his insides until he's dead. If you get hit by a bullet bee, go into the survival viewer right away and heal yourself on the cure screen. That being said, despite the name, a bullet bee is really just a type of hornet. They can't follow you into the water. If the Payne launches any at you, dive under the water. The Payne can supposedly use his hornets to create a copy of himself and confuse the enemy. If he does that, try and figure out which one is real and attack it. When he copies himself, the hornets that normally protect him will be used to create the double. That means you'll be able to damage him with a gun. But be warned, if you screw up and shoot the double, or you take too long to shoot, you'll get hit with a counterattack. The Payne can supposedly use his hornets to create a copy of himself and confuse the enemy. The Payne doesn't just use hornets, he's got guns and grenades in his arsenal too. Be especially careful about those grenades.
The Pain has the power to control swarms of hornets at will. Watch out for his hornet-based attacks. Not even the Pain's special breed of hornets will be able to follow you underwater. You're a good swimmer, right? If you're being harassed by any hornets, dive into the water. Not even the Pain's special breed of hornets will be able to... Not even the Pain... Not even the...
The exit from the cave should be toward the back. Proceed through the cave and find the exit to the swamp aqueduct. The exit from the cave...
Major, why did the pain explode like that?
It's part of their legend.
Legend?
The legend of the Cobra unit. I'll let Sigint explain. Sigint?
Yeah, that's a microbomb.
A microbomb?
Yep. During World War II, the Cobra unit was used for the nastiest kinds of wet works, the kind that could never be let out into the open. Their missions were so top secret that not only were they forbidden to be taken prisoner, they couldn't even leave their corpse behind. Because of this, or so the legend goes, they carried a microbomb with them on their missions in case they needed to commit suicide. I always thought it was just a rumor. I never expected it would turn out to be true. But why would they be carrying bombs this time around? It's not like they're in hostile territory.
Maybe they're ready to die.
Ready to die?
Yeah. They've got no unit to go back to. Not even a country.
So they've got no place to die except the battlefield, huh?
Yeah. No turning back for them. I wonder if the boss feels the same.
Press the crawl button while hanging to drop straight down. Press the action button from on top a branch to hang down from the tree, but you can only remain hanging as long as your grip strength lasts. You can't keep hanging forever.
Snake, that area is home to the Kenyan mangrove crabs. Snake, that... Snake,
Active sonar sends out a special type of sound wave whenever you press the left stick. Whenever you find a new weapon... So you've got your... Snow...
Snake, you beat the pain.
Not without a tough fight.
How did it feel to fight one of the boss's comrades?
What are you getting at?
I just want to know what it's like to have fought a member of the legendary Cobra unit. That's all.
What you want to know is if I can really face the boss. Is that right?
Well, that too.
Don't waste your time worrying about me. I'll get the mission done.
I certainly hope so.
So the exit of the cave is up ahead?
Right. Go to the end of the cave and you'll come out in an aqueduct overgrown with mangroves. This leads to the Ponizovye swamp. I heard a report that they've transported a sniper rifle to the western part of Ponizovye, the aqueduct at the other end of the cave. When you get to the aqueduct, you might want to head over that way and check it out. I heard a report that they've transported a sniper rifle to the western part of Ponizovye, the aqueduct at the other end of the cave. When you get to the aqueduct, you might want to head over that way and check it out. Go to the end of the cave and you'll... I heard a
do you want to save? Snake, have you seen Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb?
What?
Dr. Strangelove. Have you seen it?
No.
It's about this insane American Air Force commander who sends a bomber out to drop an H-bomb on Russia. It's a black comedy.
Doesn't sound very funny to me.
It plays two of the other main characters. It's actually kind of funny once you get past the scary parts. It just came out this year, so I bet you could still go and see it.
Maybe when I'm in a lighter state of mind, I'll give it a try.
Snake, press the left... It's possible to Snake?
When you get... That area is home to the Thai cobra. The Thai cobra is a large venomous snake that carries an extremely potent neurotoxin. Be careful not to get bitten. If you do get bitten, burns happen when you're engulfed in flames or get caught in an explosion. When you've got a... That area is home to the reticulated python.
Snow, as you might have guessed, is a winter camouflage developed to provide cover in a snowy environment. It's not solid. Whenever you... But the surprise...
Pass through that area to the north and you'll reach the aqueduct. But be careful. The aqueduct is patrolled by flying platforms.
Flying platforms?
Soldiers hovering in the air.
I've heard stories, but...
They've already been implemented over here. It goes to show that America isn't number one in everything. Pass through that area to the north and you'll reach the aqueduct. I heard a report that they've transported...
Do you want to save? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot. Paramedic,
What's up?
you were right.
About what?
I ate a Russian glow cap and it charged up my batteries.
Huh?
What's wrong?
That's great. Snake, can you excuse me for a second?
Sure.
Did you just... Yeah. There's no way eating a bioluminescent mushroom would cause your batteries to recharge.
What do you think it means?
Beats me. Maybe it's all in his mind.
You mean like a placebo effect?
Why not? You've seen how gullible he is.
I guess there's no harm done. Should we let him keep believing it?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, Snake, I'm back. Yes, the Russian glow cap is a glowing mushroom, so it'll recharge your batteries when you eat it.
I see you found your way to the aqueduct. If you follow it to the north, you'll come to a warehouse used for transporting supplies. Pass through the warehouse, and you'll come out into a forest. The lab where Sokolov is being held is directly to the north of that forest, so head north. Snake, Eva mentioned something about a sniper rifle in the western part of Ponyzovier. A sniper rifle would certainly be a valuable asset to your mission. Swing by the western area and acquire that sniper rifle. Snake, the water in that aqueduct comes up to your waist. Naturally, you won't be able to walk as fast as usual. But you can jump into the water with a roll, or press the crawl button to go underwater and swim your way through. Unlike what you've experienced in training, you'll be able to fire handguns and assault rifles underwater. Keep that in mind. Eva mentioned that that area was guarded by flying platforms. Be careful, they can see a great distance from up there. If a flying platform starts to draw near, you would do well to dive underwater and hide until it passes. In the corner view, press the left step button or the right step button to stick yourself out from a protected area and look over your shoulder. Snake, the fake death and revival pills we gave you are the latest in internal medicines developed for intelligence ops by the CIA's technology division. You can use the fake death pill to send yourself into a death-like state for a limited period of time. Use it wisely, and you should be able to fool the enemy into thinking you're really dead. It may come in handy if you ever find yourself cornered. To revive yourself from the fake death state, use the revival pill. But remember, timing is critical. The effect will be ruined if you revive right in front of your enemy. In the corner view, you can climb up onto...
Snake, that area is home to the big-eye trevally. The big-eye trevally is a type of mackerel. The adult fish lives around coral reefs, but the young can be found in freshwater areas such as estuaries and rivers.
Good to know. So, how do they taste?
The guidebook doesn't say.
Huh. Well, if they're a kind of mackerel, they should be okay to eat, right?
You'd think so, but...
But what?
Well, I've heard stories about people getting ciguatera poisoning after eating the adult fish.
Ciguatera poisoning?
Uh-huh. Fishes that live near coral reefs are sometimes contaminated with a poison known as ciguatera toxin. It apparently gives you food poisoning when you eat it.
So I can't eat those big-eyed trevally?
I don't know whether those trevally are contaminated with ciguatera or not, but use caution just in case. Snake, that river is inhabited by arowanas. The arowana is an ancient fish that lives in tropical freshwater areas. Because of its large size, I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive. Ancient fish like the arowana are living fossils. They've hardly changed their form since the Devonian and Jurassic periods. Other ancient fish besides the arowana include the coelacanth, the starlet, and the knifefish. Almost all organisms on Earth have evolved in various shapes and forms, but these fish have kept the same form for hundreds of millions of years. Baffling, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, I can see you're not interested.
Not at all. I'm fascinated by ancient fish.
Why?
They're supposed to be huge, aren't they?
You're wondering whether they'd make a good meal.
Yeah. So, do they?
The guide says they taste just fine for a fish.
Great.
Some types of food spoil faster than others. Snake, that area should be inhabited by tree frogs. Snake, that area is inhabited by magpies. To eat food...
You say they have flying platforms out there? Flying platforms are a type of personal VTOL aircraft.
They were working on those in America, too, weren't they?
Yeah, back in the 50s. They were supposedly going to be used for scouting and patrol missions, as well as to spot for artillery units and transport troops into rough territory. They even got an initial prototype off the ground in 1955. But the thing wasn't fast enough, and there were problems with getting it to stop and turn in midair, so they ended up scrapping the project. The ones you see there were built by the Soviets after they got their hands on the American design plans. The American model used a pair of contra-rotating rotors to generate lift, but those Soviet models seem to be using jet engines instead. They must have kept going with their research after the US abandoned its own project. Now they've finally overtaken us. You gotta give them credit for sticking with it. If you get spotted by an enemy riding a flying platform, they'll go into alert phase. The flying platforms themselves don't seem to be armed, but the pilots are carrying Scorpion submachine guns and grenades. The recoil on the Scorpion is low enough so that they should be able to fire one-handed in full auto mode. That gives them some serious firepower. The armor plating on the body of a flying platform is bound to be pretty thick. I don't think you're going to be able to penetrate it with a handgun or an assault rifle. When you're up against a flying platform, try and aim for either the pilot or the engine on the underbelly. The flying platforms have a searchlight attached to the front. If you knock it out, that should handicap its scouting ability. And in some cases, it might even have to go back to base for repairs. Tiger Stripe is a forest camouflage. If you get spotted by an enemy riding a flying platform, they'll go into alert phase. The flying platforms themselves don't seem to be armed, but the pilots are carrying Scorpion submachine guns and grenades. The recoil on the Scorpion is low enough so that they should be able to fire one-handed in full auto mode. That gives them some serious firepower. Splitter was used quite a bit in World War II on German aircraft and stuff.
Saving the game, Snake? Chin up.
I'll be in touch.
Snake, the water in that aqueduct comes up to your waist. Snake, the...
Major, Eva isn't responding to the radio.
Right.
Right.
Snake, she's been talking to you from inside an enemy facility. She's not always going to be able to answer the radio. Don't assume something's wrong just because you're not getting a response. Don't worry about Eva. Stay focused on your mission.
Got it.
When you hold an enemy up, sometimes he will give you an item. You can climb up onto waist-high objects by pressing the action button. The assault rifle works a little differently from the handgun.
Snake, be careful. That area is supposed to be inhabited by cobalt blue tarantulas. The cobalt blue tarantula is a poisonous spider with a highly potent venom. If you get bitten, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to administer a serum injection. Snake, that area should be inhabited by tree frogs. Snake, that area is home to the big-eye trevally. Snake, it says here you can catch maroon sharks in that area.
Covering your body is a good start. Tree bark is a forest pattern created primarily for use by hunters. You can take off your face paint by selecting No Paint from Face.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Ah, you've got an SVD. That's the Soviets' top-of-the-line semi-automatic sniper rifle, adopted just last year. SVD stands for the Russian words that mean Dragunov Semi-Automatic Sniper Rifle. For a long time, the standard Russian sniper rifle was the Mosin Nagant. But at the beginning of the 1950s, when Soviet troops started carrying automatic rifles and assault rifles, the need for an automatic sniper rifle increased. The SVD was developed to fulfill that need. It can use the same ammo as the Mosin Nagant, 7.62mm by 54 rim cartridges, but they developed a new type of ammo with a tighter firing pattern to go along with it. I heard that these new rounds have a steel core and are 2.5 times more precise than regular rifle bullets. Nothing can match that thing in terms of precision. Try it out for yourself and see how powerful it is. When you equip a sniper rifle, you'll go straight into first-person view. Once you're in position, press the aim button to look through the scope. The trigger is the weapon button as usual. You can change the magnification on the scope by pressing the action button. You can fire from a standing position, but your aim will be a heck of a lot steadier if you're lying down. Try it out. When you fire continuously, I see you got yourself an M37. The M37 is a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. Don't expect any kind of accuracy from a distance, but one blast will send the enemy flying, and it's got some serious firepower, too. Good thing to have with you in close-range combat. It takes a while to reload, though, so plan accordingly. The thing that really distinguishes the M37 is that it's lightweight. It's about 2 pounds lighter than other shotguns. In fact, it's so light that it's been nicknamed the Featherlight.
Yeah, and to top it off, this one's had its barrel and stock sawed off.
That's probably a modification to make it easier to wield in the jungle. Those Soviet boys know what they're doing. I guess the other distinguishing feature would be the lack of an ejection port on the side of the receiver.
Ambidextrous, huh?
Exactly. It's been designed so you can use it left-handed or right-handed with equal ease. But that's not all. The low number of apertures means that it won't get jammed up as much with mud and dirt when you use it out in the field. This weapon is made for the jungle.
Good to know. But what are they doing with an American-made shotgun?
Good question. I guess they could be doing research on Western weapons, but... Did you ever hear about the SAS using shotguns in the jungle combat in Malaya?
Just stories.
In the jungle, you're always running into the enemy when you least expect it. The SAS found the shotgun to be extremely effective, delivering massive firepower in a short period of time. Because of that, lately a lot of point men are starting to use shotguns as their weapon of choice. Vogan's men might be trying that tactic out for themselves. When you fire continuously, That's a weird grenade you got there. From what I can tell, it's an anti-electronics weapon that works by scattering a bunch of metal foil in the air to interfere with radio signals. Call it a chaff grenade, if you will. By using a chaff grenade, you can disrupt the function of enemy radios and electronic devices for a short period of time. But keep in mind that as long as the chaff is in effect, you won't be able to use your motion detector or active sonar either.
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.